Welcome to Brew's Corner. It's been a while. I am Professor Brew, driving along here. So this is another segment regarding my theories on leadership. And this one is about helping people put things in perspective, especially our youth. So, for example, I'm just going to talk along here. I might rant a little bit on my soapbox, but I think these are things that we can talk about and be open for discussion. So anything you want to comment out, I'm really trying to get more comments and dialogue on my YouTube videos. So please share your feedback and your insights on what you think. So I have an example of helping kids put things in perspective, and there's a few things I want to mention. So let's look at why our youth are dropping out of extracurricular activities. I was doing some reading, and there's three major reasons why our middle school kids especially are dropping out of sport, to be specific. One of those is the fear of failure. There's too much pressure to win. Okay, so kids feel too pressured. You know, they're losing the fun aspect of enjoying sport. And let's think about that a little bit. When's the last time you've seen kids play a pickup game? You know, think about the movie Sand-A-Lot, right? Those kids had pickup games. It wasn't private. It wasn't, you know, a private club that they're playing for or travel. These kids went out and played the game, had fun, and were being kids. And kids are telling, I mean, again, research is saying kids are dropping out, too much pressure, fear of failure. And we got to cope with that, and we got to teach our youth how to cope with pressure and fear of failure. You know what? Let's let them have a little fun. Let's let them have a little Sand-A-Lot pickup game. Again, look in your neighborhoods. Everybody's so private. And then, you know, you're only competitive if you play with these private clubs, you know. Again, you want to talk about discrimination. You got to pay to play in these private clubs. Not everybody's admitted. Okay? So one of the things we do in private clubs and private sport is we're a bit discriminating. Let's say a kid that's very good can't afford to play for your club. I mean, now that kid has only one choice, or two maybe. Go to a YMCA and learn how to, you know, think for himself and develop, you know, put a pickup game together. Kids can't even think for themselves to do a pickup game. Everything is so structured on them that they can't think for themselves. You know, we talk about that concept of independent thinking that I've mentioned. Okay, so we gotta teach our youth, you know, go out, have fun, do pickup games, create your own rules. We're losing sight of that. Okay, I'm 46 years old. We'd have pickup games, baseball, basketball, hockey. We had our own rules. Sometimes we'd argue, not get along, but you know what? That's dealing with conflict. That's how people should be dealing with each other, interacting. We're so private and we're coddling our kids, they don't even know how to interact, you know, with other people because we're so social media oriented. Everything has to be email. We don't talk on the phone anymore or text message, you know, miscommunicating because we're emailing all the time. We're not making phone calls and talking to people face to face or in person. So let's go on to number two. So number one, the reason why kids are dropping out of sport or extracurricular activity is because the pressure, too much pressure, okay, fear of failure. Number two is they feel like they're out of shape. They're not conditioned, and they don't like their physical well-being, their physical shape, and it's because of their low self-esteem and their physical condition that they drop out. Okay, they have other things to do. Think about our world of physical education today. Kids are not expected in middle school, high school to take every semester of PE. So what are they doing? Again, we're now saying go pay to get fit. Or how about think on your own and find ways to get fit? We got to be teaching our kids how to think on their own. We can't enable anymore. We've got to stop enabling this generation. They think in terms of, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. How about we start teaching our kids the language of, how about it's about what you earn, not what you deserve? How about go out and earn it and stop crying about what you deserve? That's what we should be teaching. All right, so kids are dropping out because of low self-esteem. Third, social life. They're more involved. They want to do other things in their social life. They know they might not make it in sport, or they don't want to put the time and energy and effort in extracurricular activity, so they're going to be consumed by their social life. These are 3 things we have to teach our youth and how to combat. All right, and here's what I say to some of this stuff. Again, let's encourage our youth to think on their own, interact with other people. Again, when my sons go to college, I'm going to encourage them to think about, travel. Go somewhere out of state. Or if you go to college at home, don't be a hometown person for your whole entire life. Go experience people that live in different cultures. Experience life. Move away from mom and dad. Move away from home. Now, I'm not saying anything against people who are hometown people that have lived in the same town their whole life. Okay, that doesn't mean they're not diverse and well, they don't interact well with other people. But I'm going to tell you, I think people who travel more, people who experience different cultures are better, well-rounded people. We got to push our kids out the door to go experience different cultures and different ways of living. Go live on your own in an apartment, make your own way, go to a different state and see if you can survive on your own. It's going to make you a better person, I think, if we encourage that. Something that I think will make our kids better. Again, let's stop enabling our kids. Let's stop giving them everything. Let's make them earn. Let's not make them, here's the thing. A lot of times kids will be, I deserve this, I deserve that, I'm not given this. Go and earn it. That's what we should be telling them. No more allowing kids to use crutches and excuses to get by. It's about going and earning things. And I think, again, this is all about leaders. Moms, dads, coaches, teachers. We have to teach kids how to put life in perspective, especially with what's going on now. Kids are seeing that, hey, it's okay to bend rules and guidelines with this pandemic. Adults don't pay attention to the rules and guidelines. Why do we have to pay attention? So we got to pay attention real close to how we're teaching our youth. Perspective. Help our kids put things in perspective. Introduce new cultures to them. Get them to interact with other people. Get our youth to independently think. How do we reduce that stress and the pressure then? If they're in competitive sport. All right, again, a lot of people do not like kids just getting participation awards because you're taking away that competitive spirit. First of all, you got to learn the fundamentals and you got to learn the game. And I think through the elementary years, K through 6, we've got to teach the game. It can't be about scoreboard. It can't be how much time left. It's got to be about the next play. It's got to be the next fundamental skill that I've got to execute in this game. That's what we should be teaching our youth in K through 6. When it gets to junior high, high school, and we start keeping track of score, then it becomes more competitive. And to be in more competitive leagues, we got to encourage playing all-star teams and travel leagues. It's unfortunate that we make families pay $800, $1,200 to be in these private clubs. Because again, if you think about it, it is a discriminating thing that we do. What if I can't pay $1,200 to get my kid who should make this team to play? You want to talk about injustice? That's something we have to consider and look at. And so we look at putting things in perspective and teaching our youth how to think for themselves, be disciplined. Hey, encourage them to go have fun and have pickup games. Have them watch the movie Sand-A-Lot and say, now go play a pickup baseball game. Go play a pickup football game. Create your own rules. You don't have to have this so much structure. Again, in competitive sports, you need to have structure. You have to have methodology. You have to have well-designed plans for that, if you're in a competitive spirit, competitive game. But we got to reduce stress and we got to reduce pressure on kids. And the kids who can handle and cope with pressure and stress are the ones with ice in their veins. And this is going to be my last thing I talk about. Okay, some kids are born with ice in their veins, and that comes from their family, their parents, and it's innate. It's born within them, okay? Great. But then there's some kids that, we have to teach how to cope with pressure. How do we teach mental toughness? How do we teach kids to handle pressure? Well, again, we got to tell them, you know what? The best way to learn is from your mistakes. If you make mistakes, learn from them. That will help you be mentally tough. Be calm under pressure. What does that mean? Visualize success. Practice on breathing. Focus on something that is a fundamental skill that you know you can execute and you do well at, and don't be easily distracted. Okay? Don't let the crowd distract you. Don't let other people bring you down. Okay? Those are distractors. Focus on the things that you can control. I think if we teach our kids those things, they will handle pressure and they will cope with the number one reason why we're seeing dropout with kids. Conditioning, again, I think this goes with the schools. I think this goes with our systematic way of teaching physical education. We have to have wellness programs in work, in our businesses, in our schools, and we need to encourage that, because some people can't go to these fitness clubs and pay the money, or they got to think on their own, but they need training so they don't hurt themselves. So the physical shape, to help their self-esteem, we have to give people individual attention. We've got to help them train themselves so they can boost their self-esteem. And then the social media aspect of it, we need to have our kids go outside. We need to encourage our kids, instead of, burying ourselves in social media. We need to do more things that are productive, that is goal-oriented, to our extracurricular activities, to our academics. Okay? If you achieve your academics, your athletics, the rest will fall into play. Your extracurricular activities. It doesn't have to be athletics. That's what we should be having our kids focus on, not the social media. Social media is getting real ugly with this pandemic and with this whole racism that people are talking about that's going on in this country. The infighting that's going on. Okay, we got to get back to teaching this generation about going and earning things, going and having fun, and how they need to be coping with pressure and handling stress and being mentally tough. That's what our focus needs to be, teachers, coaches, parents. We are all leaders. Then this is my leadership segment on perspective. We need to teach perspective. Don't put so much weight on things. We need to prioritize. You make a mistake in a game, things are forgotten in a month. Go back, think about what you did wrong, self-reflect, improve on it the next time, and you'll be successful. Forward thinking. That's another phrase we got to teach our kids to put things in perspective. Forward thinking. And also, there's always someone that is less fortunate than you. And so if you're crying and you're saying, oh, I deserve this, I don't get I'm not getting what I deserve, go earn it and stop crying about it. There's always someone worse than you. And if you think in those lenses, if you have a broad lens about, there are people who are in worse shape than I am, that are less fortunate than me, that I am, it's a privilege to be where I'm at. And now I got to use that so I don't have regrets. I got to use that privilege. I got to earn it so I don't take things for granted and live with regrets. I think that's what we need to do in today's world. We need to do a better job of helping this generation put things in perspective. That is our job, parents. That is our job, coaches and teachers. Take the time to do that with your kids. When you have private chances to talk with your kids one-on-one or in small groups, this is what we should be teaching. Helping kids put things in perspective. I think their performances in school and academics and athletics will improve. They will handle stress better, and we will have a mentally stronger generation. This has been Brew's Corner. It's been on leadership, putting things in perspective. Tout it.